Hello, the Pioneer viewers. How are you doing? I hope you're healthy and happy. As the Pioneer team, we continue to bring you the developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. And in a moment, I will bring you the latest developments regarding a very important operation carried out by the Ukrainian armed forces. The Ukrainian armed forces do not stop. The Ukrainian armed forces, which continue their active operations in many regions of the front line, are shaping the front line with moves that will cause the Russian army to lose its power. So, Kharkiv offensive. The most important agenda item of the war in recent days is undoubtedly the Kharkiv offensive carried out by the Russian armed forces. As it is known, the Russian army wanted to recover its lost image with the offensives here. However, the situation here was not different from the other fronts. The Ukrainian army forces did not allow the Russian army to advance in any way, except for tactical retreats. In recent days, it has carried out an incredible operation that will deal a significant blow to the offensives of the Russian army. So, what are the latest developments on this issue? I'm going to tell you. Before moving on to our report, let me make a small reminder. As the Pioneer team, we strive to bring you the latest developments in the Russia-Ukraine war. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. You know that I also read all of your comments on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments. Let's start if you're ready. The Pioneer reports. So the war between Russia and Ukraine continues to ravage Europe with all its violence, and the epic struggle of the Ukrainian armed forces have paralyzed the Russian armed forces. But this paralysis is not limited to the Russian armed forces. Russia is facing a major paralysis in every aspect. As we have often stated in our previous reports, Russia is facing various sanctions and internal turmoil. So the problems in this regard are increasing day by day, and this is worsening the situation on the front line for the Russian armed forces. The most important of these problems are supply problems and economic problems. The growth of these two problems puts Russia in an even more insurmountable position. The Ukrainian armed forces are also aware of this. So the Russian economy is already in a difficult situation due to the sanctions. And in our previous reports, I've shared many reports on this issue with you. And as you can imagine, the economic distress in Russia is not only affecting the internal problems in Russia, it also negatively affects the Russian soldiers serving on the front line. The biggest impact of these economic problems is undoubtedly the salaries of the Russian soldiers and the shortage of ammunition. In order to finance the war, it is necessary to have a huge economic power. Economic problems are exacerbating this problem, and the Ukrainian armed forces are also targeting the Russian army's ammunition stocks with their operations. A similar operation took place recently, and Russia is facing billions of dollars in losses. So the Ukrainian armed forces are putting up an incredible resistance on the Kharkiv front line, and this resistance of the Ukrainian army has caused the Russian army to suffer heavy losses. One of the regions where the resistance continues strongly is around the Voronezh region. Voronezh has become a key for the Russian army, and the Russian army is trying to recover all the prestige it had lost so far. The strong resistance of the Ukrainian army is a major obstacle to this, and the costs of the Russian army here are quite high. The cost of destroying the Ukrainian army's lines of resistance is heavy, and this region is constantly being fortified. Considering the cost of transportation to the region, it seems a more logical decision to build warehouses and hoard the army's needs. And however, this is not the case. Unmanned aerial vehicles belonging to the Ukrainian army took off once again recently, and their target was a ammunition depot belonging to the Russian army. Located in the Voronezh region, this ammunition depot was of vital importance, and the ammunition depot was located in the village of Ulfovatka in the Voronezh region. So the ammunition extracted from here was continuously shipped to the front line. However, the Ukrainian army had located this ammunition depot. Now it was time to destroy it. Unmanned aerial vehicles of the Ukrainian armed forces had once again crossed the Russian borders, and the Russian air defense systems, as you can imagine, they were again ineffective. The unmanned aerial vehicles of the Ukrainian armed forces flew unhindered and reached the Voronezh region. Strangely and strangely enough, no air defense systems was especially installed to protect the ammunition depot. As a result, unmanned aerial vehicles of the Ukrainian armed forces penetrated through the window of the ammunition depot and blew it up. And the ammunition in the warehouse exploded under the impact of the explosion, and the explosion was heard and felt over a wide area. According to reports, the people of the region experienced a great panic. Explosions were heard for hours, and fire brigades had great difficulty in responding. Therefore, the impact of the incident lasted for a long time. Many resources report that almost 3,000 artillery shells were destroyed. Even in a scenario where only artillery shells were destroyed, Russia suffered a huge loss of both economically and militarily. This incident has once again brought the claims about the inadequacy of the Russia's air defense to the agenda strongly. After the violent explosions, the region was cordoned off, and citizens were warned to stay in their homes. The governor of the region confirmed the attack, stating that no civilians were injured and security measures were taken. However, he did not provide detailed information on the casualties. This raises the possibility that this unthinkable attack by the Ukrainian armed forces has given the Russian army a very difficult moment. Russia is now unable to even defend its assets on its own territory. So we have often mentioned this in our previous reports. There is a major weakness in the Russian intelligence, and when this weakness is combined with the weaknesses of the air defense, even worse situations can arise. So just like this, in this case, the Russian army suffered a heavy loss, and this loss is not only military but also economic. So the economic losses are pushing the Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, further and further into the corner, and it is only a matter of the time before Putin is made to pay for these costs. So war is costly business, but these costs can sometimes be avoided, right? But here, it is the other way around. The Russian war leadership and the Russian leadership are increasing the costs that Russian people have to pay. But it is not only the costs that is increasing, the anger of the Russian people is also increasing. What's your opinion? What do you think? What impact do you think the Ukrainian army's destruction of the ammunition depot will have? And what do you think about the Russian military's lack of air defense capability? How do you assess the drone strikes that by the Ukrainian army happened, forces? And do you think these strikes will continue? How will the continuation of these attacks affect the front line? Let me know about the comments, because you know that I read and I care a lot about all of these comments.